So this is part 2 of the Trump Elsie Stefanik story. So I'm actually going to take it in a different angle, and we get back to the video. I'm going to get back to that video. I know you guys seen it, but it's very important because I want you guys to understand that Elsie Stefanik is an agent of Zionism. And I see people in chat that say she's Catholic. They inform me that she's Catholic, which is why I use the term Zionist. Don't ever use the term Jew. There are like the Jake Shields. Like Jake Shields is one of them. These populist right people who are getting the Israel-Palestine issue, but they're actually just white supremacists who are like just attacking Jews. No, don't you ever use the term Jews. Say Zionists, because Christians are Zionists. So if you say the Jews, you're not even being accurate, because that means you're excluding the Christians who support Zionism, right? So that's something I implore. This is another example how MAGA, honestly, and once again, I'm about clarity. I've been having fun with the "Make Israel Great Again" slogan. Once again, that's a bit, but it always been that. Like, once again, we're gonna be about clarity. It's always been the MAGA movement. Trump has always been a warmonger. The only reason why we are not at war with Iran is because Iran showed a massive amount of restraint after the United States killed General Soleimani. And you know that Donald Trump killed Soleimani, which could have started a regional war. He killed him under orders of Israel. Make America great. So
he's not free. So he's not his own person.
Nope.
Trump, come on, man. Where's your backbone, baby?
Nope. So all the people who think that this is a populist movement of working class people, nope, your boy is working for a foreign country. And you guys think, like, when Trump get in office, he's going to do everything that Netanyahu wants them to do. Because Trump is an entertainer. He's a great socialite, very charismatic. So that will be his role in office. He will be the charismatic messenger of Zionism. And in the back, you will have the Israeli lobby and all the Zionists that will be hired in the staff that will be making all the decisions. And a lot of these decisions he probably not even gonna know about. He's gonna be like, nigga, I'm anti-war, man. He probably, to be honest, he probably don't fucking know. His job is just to be the reality TV president. He like, man, personally, I'm not trying to start no wars. I ain't trying to start no strikes. Meanwhile, his cabinet just fucking striking it up. Just fucking people up. I can easily see that interpretation.
I'm really glad you brought that up here, because I do have to wonder if Trump, because here's the thing, when Trump first got into office in 2016, he picked a lot of people from the Bush-Cheney administration. And
like I said, I don't know if you watched it earlier, but I said that he rehabilitated a lot of Bush-era neocons. But let's continue. That's exactly what MAGA did. But you continue. Ken.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so the thing is, like, probably when all of them got into office, they thought it would be like business as usual with Bush listening to Cheney, like Pence being in control and Trump listening to Pence. But that was not the case. And I do have to wonder, though, how much agency Trump's going to have this time around and who he will pick, because there's going to be people who are fanatics who have their own opinions but loyal to Trump. I'm wondering what that potential presidency would look like should he win the general election, because I'm wondering if he learned from his mistakes or he'll just make them over again, which would be interesting to see.
Dude, I seen a ton of MAGA people, because there was a rumor that Trump was going to pick Nikki Haley, and I didn't believe it for 1 second. But it was, I think
that'd be the dumbest decision he'd ever do.
Yep. Yeah. So I love your first reaction, kid, because that story. I know how politics work, fam. You guys know how that story came about. The Trump people are thinking about VP picks, so the Trump people they float these stories out there to gauge reaction. That's how this works. They say so they have a list of VP and they're like, all right, let's see how the media reaction will
okay.
Be. So then you have a Trump staffer that leaks that they considering someone. So that's how the story starts. So the story started how the Trump people thinking about Nikki Haley, and then once that story broke, bro, MAGA on Twitter lost their fucking mind. This is the first time I've ever seen. I have never ever seen people in MAGA say they will never support Trump. It's the first time I've ever seen like hardcore Trump people say, "Hey, if Trump picked Nikki Haley, they will not vote for him."
Look.
I've seen a ton of accounts. Sorry if I don't got receipts. I apologize. We're doing this ad lib, but I promise you guys, believe me, there was a ton of MAGA accounts. I was like, bro, if Trump picked Nikki Haley, we are done. My question is, I'll pass to you, Kick. I know you want to chime in. Will they do that with Elsie Stefanik? Go ahead.
Well, here's the thing with Nikki, and look, I'm gonna be very careful with my words here, but look, when Nikki Haley was struggling to talk about why the Civil War happened. And Trump, when he gives his response, oh yeah, it was because slavery. When Trump outmaneuvers you and says the correct reason why the Civil War happened, Jesus Christ, Trump, listen, in the off chance you watch Revolutionary Blackout Network or Heartlands Media, don't pick Nikki. That's not her name, Haley, because that's not her name. Don't do it, okay? You get a freebie from me and Nick. Don't do it, okay? We're not going to vote for you because I'm not Republican and I'm not a Democrat, neither is Nick. But don't do it, Trump, okay? If you got any respect for yourself, don't you dare pick Nikki Haley, okay?
Dude, there's a lot of evidence that the Trump administration is about to be swampy as fuck, fam. Because I know how politics work. I've been following for a while. These stories come out because a Trump person leaks it to the media. Mm-hmm. So this tells me that Trump is just going to enjoy the act of being president again. This is how the swamp took over last time. So Trump is going to enjoy the act of being president. He's going to tell his supporters a fiction. And then he's going to allow these consultants, because what happened is there was a consultant that was like, hey, I think it would be a decent idea to pick Nikki Haley to get these moderate Republicans and Democrats on your side to show you want to throw olive branch and also you can get an Indian woman on ticket. There was a consultant in the fucking room that gave the Trump campaign a dumbass advice that was lead them to float this idea, and then MAGA on Twitter completely rejected it, and now they're like, yeah, there's no way that's going to happen. The Trump team came out after that like, yeah, there's no way we have Nikki Haley as vice president, because they do this all the time. They do these beta tests to see how people will react. So anyway, that's the Nikki Haley thing. I wonder if because they should have the same reaction to Elsie Stefanik. I'm going to get to this because I always showed you guys a receipt. Here's another one. I'll just read the headline. There's so many receipts on how Israel played a major role in the assassination of Qasem Soleimani, showing you guys that Trump has no intention on being sovereign to regarding the decisions of Israel. And now we have, I'll read my tweet thread and then I'll play the video again. Once again, I'm doing a little slightly different order. I'll just read my thread because we got to wrap up here soon. There are reports that Donald Trump is considering picking unhinged, anti-free speech Zionist Elsie Stefanik as his vice president. Elsie Stefanik is a hostile foreign agent that wants to crack down on the free speech of people who criticize the country who she truly works for. She claimed calling for, and I'm going to show you guys the clip again. She claims calling for the liberation of the Palestinians is genocide and wants to censor anyone who advocates for it. And Elsie Stefanik, watch this video. She is the number one example of a Karen. She is Karen extraordinaire. Like, if I was to pick out what a Karen is, it is Elsie Stefanik. Elsie Stefanik is a Karen that pushes the words are violent bullshit. Kid, where have you heard that? The whole
I heard that from AOC.
So remember, MAGA and the right wing sell their agenda differently. They will never say that, kid. Mm-hmm. But they will say chanting from the river to the sea is genocide. There's no difference between those positions, fam. If you believe that people chanting from the river to the sea is genocide, your position is words is violence. You are no different from AOC. You guys understand? Now let me continue this. After years of pretending they care about free speech, the MAGA movement is about to throw it away for Israel in their shows like Stefanik. The American First movement is a joke. And I explained before, I had a lot of fun dragging Biden, and I have. And this is why I was explaining this tweet. During the Biden, this is how I work, fam. People are like, why you like to Biden so much? Because Biden's the fucking president. Our being existed only when there's a Democrat president. And MAGA's like, nigga, this nigga Nick is cool as fuck. This nigga Nick always dissing Democrats. Wait until Trump wins, and he will. Wait, I can't wait to see the reaction of the MAGA people that follow me when Trump wins. Because you guys know who I'm going to go after? Biden is about to be over. It was fun. We had a fun time, didn't we, kid? Dragging Biden and Democrats was very fun. But now you're going to have Trump come in. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. In 2020, I was kind of preparing myself for a Trump re-election. It's just the thing with Biden is what disappointed me. I didn't have fun. It's more of how many people put themselves back to sleep and put themselves into self-denial. And should Trump get reelected, the one thing that's going to enrage me again, and maybe I'm speaking from my experience from covering from 2016 to 2020, is all the activists and organizers forming up downtown in Chicago to protest in front of freaking Trump Tower. And it's just like, You people were asleep for 4 years when old man Biden was doing this stuff. And what? You're going to protest in front of Trump Tower? Trump Tower, which is a private building that Trump doesn't own. He only has his name, which is profiting off of him. Are you going to have that same goddamn energy to protest in front of a U.S. senator's office or the mayor's office or the representative's office or the governor's office? Are you going to do that? But oh no, you want to march to Trump Tower because it's Trump. Yes. That man is going to be gone. And guess what? His name is going to live on forever in human history. So no matter how much you hate him, how many memes you do, or how many say, oh, I hate Trump, he is immortal. His name will live on forever. But people want to protest in front of Trump Tower because what? It makes them feel good about themselves. It's not going to solve a goddamn thing. Sorry, because there's a lot of problems in my city, especially when a lot of these activists and social justice groups were saying we need to make Chicago a sanctuary city. Nick, there's no plan for these migrants at all in Chicago. There was never a plan, and I fear that there's going to be a powder keg that's going to blow up in my city, and the Democratic convention is coming here in Chicago. There's people resentful to Mayor Brandon Johnson, and I want to be wrong about this, but I see something bad happening. I see people rioting. I see people getting upset. I see emotions being triggered, and Chicago so much. I hope that's not the case, but I see it happening. But oh no, people are going to blame Trump because he's the easy boogeyman when he's not the creator of the system. He's the parasite.
And once again, I'm looking for Trump is going to win, and it's going to be an interesting period because that's when people actually give a fuck about stuff. Mm-hmm. You're gonna see liberals actually start protesting when Trump wins. You know what I mean? The same people that deactivated when Democrats are in charge, they're gonna be activated when Republicans are here. But let's continue with the story. We're almost done here. I want to show you guys this. This is if you guys think I was being like if I was being defamatory in a tweet, everything I said was true. You guys know I don't hold my tongue. I don't engage in soft language. Everything I said about her was true because that is what she's doing here. She wants to silence dissent. I'm going to play this clip all the way through this time, and then we move on.
And Dr. Gay, at Harvard, does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
It can be, depending on the context.
What's the context?
Targeted as an individual. Targeted at an individual.
It's targeted at Jewish students, Jewish individuals. Do you understand your testimony is dehumanizing them? Do you understand that dehumanization is part of anti-Semitism? I will ask you one more time. Does calling for the genocide of Jews violate Harvard's rules of bullying and harassment? Yes or no?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric.
And is it anti-Semitic rhetoric?
Anti-Semitic rhetoric when it crosses into conduct that amounts to bullying, harassment, intimidation.
She is quoting the First Amendment, kid in my friends and family. You guys understand? They got upset at her, and I am not a fan of Claudine Gay because she condemned Palestinian activism, which is what made their reaction so absurd. She is quoting the First Amendment. She's saying that we have a duty to protect free speech of students, even if they say stuff that's abhorrent, as long as it doesn't lead to action, which none of them are. So this unhinged Karen is upset and got this person fired because she stood up for the First Amendment. This is the person that Trump says is a killer. This is the person that Trump probably going to pick as vice president because this unhinged display made her famous. Like, she became a celebrity overnight because she slayed Claudine Gay over this goddamn straw man. But I'll let it continue, and then almost done. I went pretty long. We almost
that
done.
Is actionable conduct, and we do take action.
So the answer is yes, that calling for the genocide of Jews violates Harvard Code of Conduct, correct?
Again, it depends on the context.
It does not depend on the context. The answer is yes, and this is...
Yes, it does. That's the First Amendment. The First Amendment is all about context. You can say abhorrent stuff as long as what you say doesn't lead to action. So these America First MAGA people are against the First Amendment, and they are using the same argument that social justice warrior Democrats use to advocate for censorship. Because they say, okay, you can't talk about pronouns, you can't talk about any of these things because you make trans people feel uncomfortable. You can't talk about race because you make black people feel uncomfortable. You guys understand that's the argument that Democrats have used? They said that if you make black people, gay people feel uncomfortable, you're not allowed to do that, so we got to censor you. This is an argument that we reject, that the right wing reject. They are now taking that argument and they're applying it to Jews who they were trying to protect because they are loyal to the state of Israel. And this is the person who Trump wants to pick as vice president. Look at this. Stefanik, who aggressive questioning of gay went viral, claimed credit for her exit. So you know the whole cancel culture, kid? Remember how we were talking about how we hate cancel culture? You want to know who the only faction who was serious about that? The post-duopolist. You have MAGA, the Make Israel Great Again movement, that is teaming with the ADL and Stop Anti-Semitism and celebrating getting people fired. They were celebrating getting teachers fired. Look at the Twitter account, Stop Anti-Semitism. They post their quote-unquote bodies. They post how unended they are. They're like, here, there was an elementary school teacher that said free Palestine on social media, and we got her fired. And they get retweeted by the right wing, kid. Yeah, we canceled school teachers. I don't like Claudine Gay, but on principle, right? Like, I don't like Trump, and I stood up against Russiagate on principle. I don't like Claudine Gay at all. At all. But if people who cheered on the Zionist censorship of her, go ahead, Catherine, want to chime in? Or absurd. Go ahead, kid.
So look, I'm going to make this very clear here. Look, I'm for the First Amendment. I'm a free speech absolutist. I believe in free speech. I'm against censorship. I'm against the way people want to abuse the system because, you know, I've dealt with it now not once but 9 times, okay? And I despise it in every single form. I understand that there are people who are going to say things I despise, but I want to let the people know that even though I don't politically agree with you, I believe in being consistent. And when you call on others to be censored, let's say conservatives would call upon people to be censored. So it's like, no, because if you have a right to speak, others have a right to speak. It's not just one way, it's both ways. The fundamental right of free speech in this country means that everyone has a right to speak. And if that offends you, well, then maybe just stay in your house and don't go outside. Turn off your phone and become a Luddite. Don't touch any technology because everything's going to offend you. The First Amendment is so important to our democracy, to our republic, to independent media, to our entire reporting, because people have a right to speak. And I will not sit here and be saying, oh, well, that person shouldn't speak. If I'm going to have a disagreement, I'll be like, okay, well, I disagree. Is it the end all be all? Because guess what? Nick, when you and I are gone, there's going to be people who are going to disagree with each other. It's nothing new. What I despise is when people say, don't speak like that or you'll get in trouble. Yep. What kind of world is that? F out of here. All right. I don't want to get guys get hit, but I mean, come on, get out of here with that crap.
So you guys see how Stefanik and I've been learning a lot about her ever since the trial because she became famous. She is beloved by MAGA. And guys, and not only just MAGA, because that performance she loved by Israel and AIPAC. Like there was segments and we did on the show where Morning Joe was praising Elsie Stefanik. You know, the same channel that say that Trumpers are the greatest threat to democracy ever? Okay? That's the thesis of Morning Joe. According to them, MAGA are terrorists, but they love Elsie Stefanik because she want to censor Americans on behalf of Israel. You guys see how liberals are closer to Trumpers than they think? They loved Elsie Stefanik. Now they hate her now because they realize they fucked up, kid. They propped her up and realized, oh shit, we propped up a Trumper. Because now she, after being propped up by MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, and guys, if you wasn't there, please trust me on this. I don't got the receipts on this. She was propped up by the liberal media, much of the conservative media, because they love the fact that she was calling for censorship on behalf of the Israeli regime. Now they're realizing that she was a Trumper, and they like, fuck. Because now she's saying stuff like January 6th rioters are hostages because she's trying to be Trump VP. She's doing these interviews where it's super obvious she's trying to be her VP. I don't got the receipts. I apologize because we're doing a little bit off the cuff here. But in one of these interviews, she was asked, do you try to be Trump VP? And she definitely was like, she did say no on purpose. She gave this answer that was essentially like, hey, Trump, please make me VP. I can't say it publicly for political purposes, please make VP. So you guys see this insane Israel psychopath is loved by MAGA. So I'm not strawmanning. Trump praised potential VP Elise Stefanik as a killer after she interrogated college presidents. So it's not like Trump don't see what we see, kid. He's the worst of Elise Stefanik. Trump saw Elise Stefanik call for censorship of Americans, and Trump said, I want her on my team. Even if she's not vice president, you guys think she's not going to get in place in the administration? Cabinet is going to be ran by Zionists. I am going to have fun all year making fun of the MAGA movement, the Make Israel Great Again movement, because I had a lot of these people lie to me in my face. I had a lot of these people telling me in my face a lot of shit that made no sense, kid. A lot of people told me shit that made no goddamn sense. A lot of people told me shit like the MAGA movement is anti-imperialist. A lot of people told me stuff like the MAGA movement is anti-establishment. You are not anti-establishment. You're not anti-imperialist if you are making your bed with Zionists. And that has always been my criticism. I got one more last thing. I want to read the last one and now pass to you. Oh, yeah, I definitely had to read these last two. I got two more. We are seeing the Zionist purge of the media. And this is what Elise Stefanik wants. This is the campaign that Elise Stefanik and the Zionists are pushing. Breaking. In this, I'll just read the tweet. Sydney Herald reports that Australian Broadcasting Corporation sacked award-winning Australian Lebanese host after a high-level coordinated letter writing campaign on behalf of pro-Israeli lobby. So you had this Australian journalist who was fired because she was telling the truth about Israel and Australia. We also have Mehdi Hassan, who was fired on MSNBC for telling the truth about Israel. Once again, don't care about these people, but you guys see we stand on free speech on principle. So the Zionist purge of free speech in this country, and we're in our network and the post-duopolis, we are the only people calling it like this. You have Russell Brand telling people still flirting with MAGA. There is no flirting with anyone who's a Zionist after this. You guys understand the biggest threat to free speech and free press is the Zionist movement. They're taking out journalists. They were killing journalists. They killed they killing record amount of journalists. They kill UN workers. And this is the end game. And this is my last thing I want to say here. If you guys think I am crazy, this is what Elise Stefanik was sent to do. This was the end game. To fight anti-Semitism on campuses, we must restrict speech.
No.
And this is false. And this is after the Elise Stefanik hearing. Look at the people. This is the president that Elise Stefanik grilled. So the position of MAGA and the Trump is that we got to fight free speech, because at the time when I covered this, I said, what are you guys implying? If you disagree with my analysis of Claudine Gay and the fact that she just stand up for free speech, what you guys implying that she should do to people chanting from the river to the sea? What Claudine Gay says is that she find that deplorable, kid, because she's a fucking sellout piece of shit. Claudine Gay is a sellout piece of shit, so she threw Palestinians under the bus to protect her job. But she said, even though I find it deplorable, I can't do anything to them. So then she said that was unacceptable because Elise Stefanik wanted to crack down on the free speech of students, expel them. They want the school to pull funding. They want to attack the establishment institutions. And Emily, I'm sorry, my sweet summer child. We're talking about the Uniparty here. I just told you guys, liberals agree with MAGA more than they think they do. That's why they got criticized Lloyd Austin over a fucking boo-boo.
Wait. I'm sorry. No. Here's the thing. Here's how we knew that liberals agree with MAGA more than ever. When the first migrants came to Martha's Vineyard. Oh, hi, welcome. Now get out.
Yeah.
There we go. That's how we knew. Martha's Vineyard. What, you think we forgot what you all did? Like, oh, we love you. These are the same people. There's no hate here. We welcome everybody. But can't have these migrants here. Shush. Get out of Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah.
BS,
The
man.
Washington
Those liberals
Post,
are there, man. Come on.
The Washington Post, liberals, Democrats, MAGA, Trumpers, whatever you want to call them. And I've been trying to stop calling people out individually because I try to give you guys benefit out. I'm not trying to call this person out, but this shit got to stop. They have the same policy on Venezuela. They have the same policy on Iran. They have the same policy on China. They have the same policy regarding ICE. They have the same policy regarding policing. They have the same policy regarding healthcare. They believe the same thing. Do not separate the Washington Post from MAGA. We're not doing that this year. They're in the Make Israel Great Again movement. Anyway, I think I'm done with the segment. We had a 2-hour show. I think we're done. I think I'm just drawing it out at this point because I went in on that headline. You guys see, that's the end game. To fight anti-Semitism, we must restrict free speech, and the Trump administration is 100% going to go along with that. You think that at least they're finally going to change her position once she becomes vice president? She's going to take that house speech. You know, the thing that made her famous. She's about to double down on that. And even if Trump doesn't hire her for VP, she's going to be part of the administration. So he's going to hire another Zionist. That's the position of the party. The position of Trump is pro-Israel. So in the year 2024, we're all about clarity. We're all about calling out people who are not about clarity. So in order to be clear, we need a post-duopolis movement that is rooted in the tenets of anti-war and class struggle. And our number one enemy right now, because are we all about identifying enemy, is Zionism. Zionism is the number one threat to free press. One of the receipts I cut, which I may cover on Saturday, is how CNN essentially admitting, and I think it was like an older clip, but I'm gonna show you guys how CNN was just like admitting that they submit all evidence, all their media to Israel for approval. They get approval from Israel and the IDF before they report on anything there. Zionism had completely destroyed free speech and freedom of the press and these liberties that MAGA and the populist right claim they care about. So they are our number one enemy. They are number one class traitors. They are putting for censorship on college campuses. The goal and the target of RBN is to take out Zionists. And last year, I think CJ said this. Last year, I think a good way to sum up RBN. We did a lot of anti-imperialist work, but we focused heavily on the criticism of the social democrats, right? We focused a lot on criticizing Bernie and the Bernie industrial complex. This is also because of the NATO left. We had the rise of the NATO left, the Ukraine war, but the Ukraine war is dead, essentially. That people know that Bernie and the social democrats are discredited now at this point. At this point in 2024, and a channel that's constantly evolving, my number one focus are Zionists for this year and for Americans. There is no enemy that is more significant to take on the Zionists. We need to prepare for a revolution to take on the Zionists. They will not give up this power easily. They're extremely powerful, and they will shoot to kill.